to be asked who were the political rivals in Port Maria during the 1970s, very early 70s, not very many individuals could give an answer. It's quite some time. No doubt our PM could tell us. So I'll say there was a man named Dyer, and there's another named Wycliffe Campbell, who they called Kojo. Now these gentlemen represented both political parties back then. And prior to the division through politics, the only threats we knew back then, the only problems we faced would have been in the form of water wash, we call it, just floods, hurricanes or storm, outbreaks. Previously they had outbreaks of conditions like malaria and typhoid, that kind of thing before, back in the 50s. So we were united as a people, and during that time the Jamaican currency was stronger than the US currency. Yes, it was. Now, our nation exported coconut oil, copra. We had banana plantations, we had coconut plantations. It was a thriving parish. Today, this very resourceful parish has deteriorated to a certain level. Nonetheless, we still boast the Sanssouci Hotel in White River, that's St. Mary, let that be very clear. Couples Tower Isle property, the first all-inclusive property nationally, that's St. Mary. Boscobel Beach, which was under the super clubs at some point in time, that is St. Mary. And we have an airport, St. Mary. Now the dishonesty of anyone who desires to classify all of these as Ocherius and St. Anne clearly demonstrates a disregard shown to all parish. And all resources evidently goes into the coffers of other regions. So we don't benefit from the resourcefulness of our parish. And it means our parish has been totally disregarded, treated with utmost contempt through successive politicians, by successive politicians. We have seen it way back in time, and it's very evident. We see attempts being made to correct this at the present moment. There is a lot to be done within the parish, and I will categorically state that regimes can be trusted to take this parish out of its state. Politics remain the divisive component, and so as long as we're divided, we're bound to fall. United we stand. So we refuse to look to politicians for the answers or the solutions. We have a plan of action to take this parish forward. And we've been hindered by politics. We've been hindered by those who disregard all people based on the color of our skin. And there are people who are regarded very highly based on their geographic location, the origin, and the color of their skin. It's reality. You look back, Taki fought. What was he fighting against? The colonial system. So we have a hero who fought on our behalf, fought for freedom, and there are the villains who insist on taking us back to the state of affairs when Taki had to fight. Think about it. So the culprits know themselves. Those who willingly hand over our parish to others, or parish resources to others, or prime lands being sold out to others. No. If there was parity, it was fairness. Think about it. If the person who works cutting somebody's lawn was regarded, if the person who stands on that garbage truck at the back of the garbage truck, inhaling all the horrible scent, if that individual was regarded, then we would have seen far better output within the parish. But there is a stereotyping. There's a disregard for some individuals. It's very evident. And the anthem says TRFA, true respect for all. But evidently, that's not the case. So today we stand and we say to anyone who has no respect for us, in whatever capacity you stand or sit, we say go away. We say scram, leave, move away from us. Leave us alone. We can dictate our own lives and we can chart our own course. And we will. So we say to any one of you who think that this parish must remain subservient, the people of this parish should remain subservient. Anyone who feels like that, go away. Anyone who thinks that they're superior to us, leave. You're not welcome. Persona non grata. All people deserve to be respected and must be respected and will be respected. So we have been brought, many have been brought to a state of poverty. Because from poverty, certain things thrive. So there is need for more force. And that's all some are pushing, more force. Knowing that's not the solution. Because we have seen new equipment come in, new vehicles, improved weaponry, all kinds of different methods. What have we seen? Still a decline in safety. It means it's not working. It's no solution. And you put the will before people's eyes to say, oh, we have a reduction in a reduction. Nonsense, garbage, rubbish. We need a National Protective Unit, NPU. And I strongly believe it should begin within our parish. Establish a National Protective Unit with national standards officers, a governor-specific responsibilities to the environment, social and physical. Not answerable to any foreign royal. So we hear talk about republic and all of that kind of thing coming out. But as long as we have those individuals playing a part in this transformation, because people are siding with them, pretending, just trying to appease and to fool us, and we say, the people of St. Mary will not be fooled. And I say, if it calls for a breakaway, then I stand on my word. If that's what it calls for, then that's what needs to happen. Because the dishonesty, the tomfoolery cannot continue and will not continue. We can transform the children of our communities, our parish. We can transform the brothers and sisters who have been led astray. Incarceration is not the solution, because people are not coming out transformed. They come back worse. So the approach being used is an act of futility. And here comes a time when our people must be respected for the great people we are. And we don't need to fight. We refuse to bring ourselves to the point of fighting for this. We'll clearly state that we've had enough, and we politely ask anyone bent on taking this parish downwards, elevating themselves, fattening their pockets, while the work is not done. What are you being paid for? So in any capacity you sit, and you're being paid at the end of a year, you get your full salary, then we need to have work done. Results. So in any capacity you sit, if there are no results, you should not be paid. And in fact, you should reimburse money that you collect for work not done. I understand that touches a nerve, of course it will. But are you about truth? Is your conscience alive? I'm going to awaken it in whatever capacity you sit or stand. So for all who carried this parish in the doldrums for so long and enjoyed the best of everything while the people struggled and suffered, you should be made to pay back. Because in any other area, nobody pays people for work not done. Think about it. So we say we need a national protective unit and national standards officers headed by a governor specific. Then you have regional standards officers, you have community standards officers, and within the schools you have junior standards officers, trained individuals in community relations, in communications, in humanities. Yes. And this is where we will transform communities, homes, communities, parishes, and subsequently a nation transformed. It's a national transformation initiative. Change is possible, provided you prepare to be lied to no more, and provided those who have been lying cease the lies, face the truth. That's all it takes. So today I call upon every member of this nation to do a little soul searching. And anything that you are doing that's counterproductive to our nation's development, cease. Stop. We cannot allow our nation to go under. Our people have struggled for far too long and we're far too resourceful to be taken for a ride like this. So for all who sit hitting tables, laughing at the nation, because you know at the end of it, you're well paid, but at the end of it all, the nation really hasn't moved. So you provide more security for yourselves and for those individuals who are really not of us and not for us. We can bring crime down. All it takes is love. It takes conscience. It takes harmony and unity that cannot be accomplished or attained through divisive politics. And the eyes of the people have been opened. It's very clear. I say to all who seek to pull the wool over the nation's eyes and seek to use all kinds of schemes to pull us further into a state of degradation, stop. Cease. If you have no desire to see this nation rise, step away. You left school with many of the people you've known, and they trusted the nation's affairs in your hands. What did you do? You decided you're going there to drink milk, you ain't counting no cow. So the aim was never to elevate this nation, for some. And many who really wanted to elevate the nation went as good apples among a basket of wormy apples, and the worms evidently reached quite a few. To all the good apples that remain, we say stand up and speak. Let your consciences speak. To all the good apples that remain within that wormy basket, stand and let your voices be heard. Break away from anything that's evil, anything that's toxic to this nation. Break away from it. Stand and we will respect you. We will regard you. We need true leaders. So anyone who is pushing the buttons that bring our nation down, you need to look them in the eye publicly and berate them. Tell them straight what you're doing is wrong. We're looking for leaders. We're looking for people with integrity and dignity. ID, identification, ID, integrity and dignity. I have talks with the students in the schools. I apologize to them. I outlined to them that they have come as empty vessels, open for anything positive, but have been filled with a lot of toxic, messy stuff. From the example of many of our elders or adults, things they are saying, they could not have said it if they never heard it. And we have witnessed senior officers standing in the towns where nasty, filthy music is being played. M-U-S-I-C-K, that is music. Being played and not a word. I'm saying, where is the dignity? Where is the integrity? Nothing matters anymore. The nation is swamped with this kind of behavior. Is it an anything goes now? Values, attitude, standards must be restored. And so, we'll be speaking. There are lots of initiatives in the pipeline to be implemented. They've been presented. Some have been put forward under the disguise that others initiated them, and there are those sitting on desks waiting to be put into action. But as long as you seek to put a political spin on all of these, it will be futile. United we stand. Umoja tunasimama. Umoja tunasimama. United we stand. We want the youths to grow in an atmosphere where they feel safe. And we are going to create that atmosphere. We want our residents to go to their beds not fearing leaving a door open. And it's going to be accomplished. So we will establish the kinds of laws, kinds of rules that will accomplish just that. There must be penalties for certain activities. There must be. And those who perform certain activities know that there should be penalties, but the system has become lax. And as a result of that, it's free for all, anything goes. But there's one thing that people should understand, is that people allow certain things to deteriorate just to remain popular. But deep within, they have a plan of action. And when it comes back, you wonder if that same person who you thought was caring and loving could have turned so vile, so heartless. That's how it will come across. Because the plans are there to put the fences around, and essentially, by the time people awaken, they realize they're fenced in. And it's being done at the will of external elements. Those who want to take our nation over are the ones dictating the pace. So they'll tell you, no, you cannot do this, you can't do that, based on certain laws. Yeah? But when they get to where they want to be, they implement anything they want. And that's when you realize it was just a trap. Clearly, many haven't gone fishing with nets to understand how you figure where the fish is situated. You get the nets around them. By the time they realize it's too late. My people, you're much too wise to be led to this path, to be led over a precipice, to be led like sheep to the slaughter. You're much too wise to bring yourselves to this, or permit yourselves to be brought to this. And today I call upon all people, open your eyes. It's time for us to harmonize, to unify. It's time for us to awaken the conscience. Be a little kinder to that brother, to that sister. Be a little meeker. Don't seek to be a boaster over others. Your success should mean one less hungry person within your community. There's no joy in you having it all and nobody else has. And if you find joy in that, you need to check your state of mind. Listen to that conscience. Never let it die. The death of the conscience is the death of a man. There are proposals, there are initiatives. St. Mary, we're struggling with the Ocean River. Port Maria is struggling, and it is that we have been disregarded. There's a saying, never underestimate the power of local knowledge. And we have been speaking for a long time, and the answers are very clear, but we've been ignored. There is a plan of action drafted to address the issue of flooding, and it's been presented and reviewed by a team from overseas and has been ratified, has been acknowledged as the solution. Why isn't it being implemented? That's the question. So, I'd love to share something with you before I go. This was way back in the 70s when the very same Otron River that I speak of, which I wrote an article, Minutes to an Epidemic. I wrote that in about 1995. Well, the epidemic finally came. But during cutting or redirection of the channel of the river, the main piece of equipment was a crane, a brand new crane, which, having almost completed the job, got stuck during the rains, and it just kept sinking deeper and deeper. A huge chain was connected to its center, and several chains connected, and a very powerful, what you call D6 bulldozer, was at the center, pulling straight ahead. It's no movement. They put on 2 additional bulldozers in a V. So one is going straight and the other 2 going that way. So there are now 3. A gentleman went out, said to them, it's not going to work like that. They said, man, in other words, who are you? I mean, we're engineers. So for weeks, they got eventually 6 bulldozers connected to that crane, and they couldn't shift it. Weeks. It sank to the point where they had taken off the boom, and just the first little part of the boom was left. And the crane had gone under till all the wheels were sunk, and that area where a part of the back was under the mud, and a part where the driver would be standing, the floor, that was submerged. This gentleman said to them, it will not work like that. Eventually they said to him, okay, and this is weeks later, okay, what do you say? He said, okay, these bulldozers that you have pulling in the V, take them off and connect all of them to the one at the front. So there are 2 at the front and 3 going in that direction, and they went and they all lined up one after the other. And on the first attempt, there was movement. And when they revved up, the crane slid out of the hole like a hot knife through butter. That hole was still remaining at the back of my home, 54 Stennis Street, Port Maria. It moved out like with such ease, and they went and they parked it right above the culverts in line with the gutter, maybe 100 yards away. They stood and they looked at the gentleman in disbelief. He just took his son's hand, turned, and walked to his home. I learned a very powerful lesson that day in strength in unity. Energy being squandered, wasted, pulling in all different directions. But when a nation pulls together, much will be accomplished. So many chains broke in the process, but eventually success was accomplished. That man was my father, Ernest Lambert Wallace. For me, the greatest man to have ever walked this country. Yes, my dad. That's a lesson I'd love to share with our people. We can and we will. This is Emperor Elijah Abeid Kazembe Mwata, Franklin J. Wallace. This is the Voice of Reason, African News Network, APOD, APOD, African People of the Diaspora. Race, restoring a clean environment. Together we can, and together